everyone, welcome back to the Undercut podcast. Today we bring you the midweek podcast edition. So this is the first podcast we're doing, which is in between race weekends, isn't it?
In between race weekends.
Yeah. As you can see, we have a plethora of energy this morning.
It's actually really sad. I miss race weekend.
Yeah, I do as well, actually. I kind of feel a bit lost. Like, I was having fun.
I was having fun live stream, just because you just press the button
And you go.
eat some food,
Yep.
get a drink,
Yep.
and chill.
Yeah.
And now I can't do that.
No. But, I mean, I guess we don't have to... If it's a boring race, we don't have to sit here for 2 hours. Just...
Oh, yeah, we don't have to watch Max Verstappen dominate.
No. But, I mean, speaking of Max Verstappen, obviously, we're going to cover news this week. It should be a bit of a short pod because, let's be honest, there hasn't been that much news.
It's been a quiet week.
But it's been a quiet week. All things considered, this season has been absolutely mental for news. But then this week has probably been the quietest week. But there's been some more news on Max Verstappen that if potentially, and this is coming from reliable sources now, multiple sources, basically reiterating what we've had.
Not just his head.
Not just my head, no. This is coming from reliable sources now that if, obviously, Christian Horner stays, apparently, or if Helmut Marko leaves, we are going to be getting, allegedly, a confirmation within the next few weeks of Max Verstappen to either Mercedes or Aston Martin for the 2025 season.
Or Aston Martin.
Or Aston Martin. Yeah. So...
Not McLaren.
No, McLaren wasn't on the list. It was Mercedes or Aston. So, I think that's very interesting. Like, Mercedes we spoke about before. We spoke about it on last week's video. Well, this week's video. No, last week's video.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it on the pod, on the live stream before. Like, but Aston Martin?
Yeah, that was interesting, actually. I didn't anticipate Aston Martin. But they're going to Honda, aren't they?
So there's that connection.
Could there be that connection there from that?
Yeah.
Obviously, they've been doing well. Second best team for half a year last year.
Yeah.
Qualifying's very good this year. Still with the big boys, they haven't dropped off.
They've got a lot of money as well.
Yeah.
So.
Lawrence.
They've got Lawrence.
Fat Lawrence. What?
Fair enough. I mean, he is. What? Factual information.
He's such a twat. Yeah, no, it's good. I won't object Max going there. I won't object him going to Mercedes because then he's not winning by about 10 seconds.
No, but...
Well, 10 seconds is an understatement. It's more like 30, but...
Yeah. Might actually have a championship battle if he's at
Yeah,
Mercedes.
might have something going on.
Might have Max versus the Mercedes then, the Red Bulls. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Aston Martin is like one of those teams where they could be at the front at some point. You can see it happening.
I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
No.
I think they're over ambitious.
I just don't think that they're there enough to take Ferrari. Like, yeah, they're there. They've done well for the last year. This year's not as good as last year in terms of race pace.
Yeah.
But I think people are you got to understand how hard it is to be with the big boys over the course of a season.
Oh, it's
which
difficult.
they didn't manage to do it last year. Like, they had a great car, but they dropped.
Yep.
You've got to have that consistency, the reliability, the pace all year round, the upgrades coming that are spot on at all times to be with Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren.
And let's not get this wrong as well. McLaren are one of the big boys.
No, McLaren have the pedigree. They've been around. They know what they're doing. They've just had a shit car.
They've gone through a lull period.
Yeah, they know. McLaren know what they're doing. Aston Martin don't know what. Like, not that they don't know what they're doing, but they haven't got the pedigree of a McLaren.
You don't think that they have that that championship winning formula within the very like blood of the team. They haven't won enough to know what it takes to win.
Not anytime soon.
But to be fair though, we've got to remember, like, it's not...
Someone's got to come in and do it at some point.
Yeah, it's not uncommon that it does... You know, it's not uncommon that it happens. Like,
no, but
Red Bull came in
Yeah.
2005, and by 2010 they'd won a championship.
Yeah.
So
they came in, they did it. But the thing is with me, like, I don't know. It just looks like Red Bull are so far clear at the moment. Mercedes and Ferrari are getting back on track with this car. Maybe Aston Martin's chance was last year, or maybe it was the year before, if they built a good car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got they probably to do it. You've got to come in at the start of the new regulations that first year, because if you give the other big boys a chance to develop a car and go, you're not going to catch them.
Yeah, we saw.
It's as simple as that.
It's happened so many times. Like, for example, we had. I'm trying to think back. When was the last? When in the early 2000s, what was the big regulation change? That's too far back for me to remember, really, because I was too young. But in 2009, big regulation change. Red Bull, one of the quickest cars. Red Bull end up going on to win 4 championships.
Yeah, but Braun took it in 2009.
Braun did take it, but because they were such a small team, they hello.
Pass them down.
Thanks.
You. Thanks, mother.
Thank you.
Lovely stuff. You wanted food? You know what I mean? Okay, right. Okay. Oh wait. So I'll start with Braun. So yeah, Braun. I mean, Braun were a small team, which is so they got it right on the off, but because they couldn't develop the car going forward. Well,
I'm hungry.
we're not going to be going for much longer. Or do we eat these first?
I'm going to eat it while we're on it. No, we'll wait.
Yeah, Braun were a small team, so they got it right from the off.
Yeah, they did.
But then they couldn't. They didn't have what it took to develop the car further.
That's what I mean.
So Red Bull had a good car.
Yep.
Managed to take it to 4 world championships by the end.
That's
2014, Mercedes, with a lot of money,
that was fun.
with a lot of development, got it right.
That was tough.
And when you see a team that have got a lot of resources get it right first time, it's over.
Yeah.
Until
it's
completed,
over. Isn't it? It's what we've done with Red Bull. They've got it right first time now.
Yeah. Red Bull got it right first time in 2022. Yeah, Ferrari were close.
So so what you're saying is to have some form of relevance, because you've got to remember the period that Red Bull went through 2010 to 2013. It was still close with like McLaren, Ferrari.
Oh, there were years.
Alonso had chances. Hamilton had chances. You say Webber, who was in the Red Bull. Button was thereabouts.
Yeah.
Like you had people thereabouts.
Yeah.
And that's probably come from the fact that none of the big boys got it spot on in 2009, and it was Braun that did. So that's what causes the big boys to, because they develop at roughly the same rates here and there.
I'd say they do, yeah.
So that when they're doing that and they're all similar pace, you're going to get these mega championships that we had back in 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
Whereas now, we've seen 2014, Mercedes are the team to blitz it right off the outset. It's done for the next until the next regulation change. Red Bull, it's done until the next regulation change. Braun did it.
Yeah.
So if Aston Martin want to do it on the first year of the next regulation change, because I'm not going to be mad at that, because we'll have a year of Aston Martin dominance and Lawrence Stroll, and I'm going to be like shouting like mad. But then I know
Fernando,
they can't keep it up, and Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari going to come back, overtake him. We're going to get a mega championship between the three of them.
I don't think so. I think Aston Martin, if they get it right, I think it could be dominance for years.
Sure.
Because you got to remember, Braun couldn't, because they physically couldn't bring as many upgrades as McLaren, Ferrari, or Red Bull. They couldn't do it.
Aston Martin technically can.
Aston Martin have more than the financial capability. It's just whether they have the technical staff to be able to do it.
Which I don't think they do.
I think they could.
I don't think they can.
You know, so, I mean, we've seen what happens with Alpine if you have a lot of money, a works team, but don't have the right staff. We've seen what happens with Alpine. Obviously, it's a shithouse. But
they've got to have the right drivers at Aston Martin as well.
So
Lance Stroll is the wrong driver.
He is.
The championship team.
But obviously, going back to the Verstappen
back to Max.
Well, I mean, this is all related though, because if they do get it right in 2026,
and
Max does go in there.
Yeah, it could be long.
But are they putting him next to Stroll, or are they getting rid of Fernando?
They're putting him next to Stroll.
Which really hurts me, because I'd love a Fernando and Max title battle 2026.
I think Red Bull will go for... Well, it'll be either Mercedes or Red Bull that will have Fernando then after that, I reckon.
You reckon? Yeah. It opens the driver market like crazy.
The one thing that we do know about Fernando, he's like the Zlatan Ibrahimovic...
Oh, 100%.
Of F1.
Oh, yeah.
He just
100%.
changes genes.
He changes
and I love it
when
for,
he sees it fit. Like
I love him. I love him for it because he's never in the same team. Like that's the one thing with Hamilton. He's just been in the same team dominance. Alonso takes risks.
Yeah.
He'll swap teams when if he thinks it's not going to work out, he's swapping. He'll take the risk to go to a McLaren.
Yeah.
Who was down at the back.
Yeah.
He go to Alpine again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He takes these risks, and I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. I can't blame him for going to Alpine because Alpine sold him a full stream. That
Alpine
they were going to be
sold everyone a full stream.
They did. Aston Martin, I can see why he went to Aston Martin because they were quick last year. I think that's what they showed him.
Was there last year.
Yeah, they were quick.
It was a risk, but considering what Aston Martin did in 2022, which was nothing.
But obviously,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But Lawrence Stroll showed him something where he was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, the same. Obviously, Ferrari's Ferrari.
Did you watch it? Have you watched any of Drive to Survive?
I've seen the first episode.
Was that it?
I was trying to get Holly into it, so I watched the first episode.
Yeah, that's the best thing. If you get Holly into it, she'll make you binge it.
Yeah, see, this is the only way I'm going to watch it, because I haven't seen Drive to Survive in like 3 seasons.
Holly like drama.
Yeah, but she was getting into it, because she was like, she doesn't like Lawrence Stroll. She doesn't like him as a winner, and she doesn't like Lance either.
Oh, we're getting on massive.
But then she was like,
he has got thick eyebrows. Hasn't he, Lance?
He has got thick eyebrows. Yeah. But then when it got to like the racing part in Bahrain, she was like, "Oh, this is boring now."
Yeah,
So-
I get that. But right at the start, did she watch the whole racing part, or did you...
No.
No, because it's not just pure racing. You don't watch it. It's drama. It's cut up. It's
No, I gathered
different
that.
bits.
Yeah.
So if she stuck with it, she wouldn't have minded it.
Yeah.
Because it's not actually that long of a part of it.
Yeah.
I
was gassed when it got to the racing part. I was like, "Let's go!"
I've nearly finished it. I'm up to the Ferrari team bit.
Yeah.
Like Monza and that.
I probably should watch it now that we have an F1 podcast. But...
It's actually quite good. I
Is it?
found the Lewis Hamilton one quite interesting actually.
As a Hamilton episode.
Well, it's Mercedes kind of episode, but it was mainly focusing in on Hamilton quite a lot.
Because I saw when Hamilton moved to Ferrari, there was that clip of in Drive to Survive. I don't know if it's from that episode where Toto and Hamilton are having that discussion about his future.
There is a meeting, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting because they've got like media days, sports, whatever days. And when he went to one of the Mercedes ones with all the cars, the organisation, you looked at him and what he was doing. People probably hated him for it, to be honest, because he was quite arrogant. But he just couldn't be asked to be there. He really could not be asked to be there. And you could see a difference between him and George. George was quite like bouncy going along with it. Hamilton was like, no, do it now. We're getting this done now. Hurry up now.
Yeah.
Do it now.
Well, Hamilton, I've always got the impression, and I think this is why people don't like him. I've always got the impression that Hamilton doesn't like the media or any media days or anything like that.
Well, he does avoid
anything to
quite
do
a
with
lot.
it. I've always got the impression he doesn't, and I know some people hate him because everyone's like, oh, he's an arrogant prick or something like that. People say shit like that. I don't believe that. I like Hamilton, but I understand that I don't think he likes media days, and that's why
I don't think he likes media.
I like him because he's a good racing driver. And
Maybe that's why he avoids Martin Brundle on the grid.
Probably. It's why we've never seen him. Have you ever seen Hamilton get interviewed by Martin Brundle on the grid?
Anytime recently.
No, never. Never seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Me
in
neither.
The past couple of years minimum.
No.
It's mental.
But these new drivers though, like Lando and Max, they love the media. They all love the media. They all love media stuff.
They love me. I don't think they like giving interviews. I think they like doing their own media.
No, when it's like, I think you can tell they love the press conferences. Some of the answers that they give are just shit housery.
Well, I think Hamilton's got better in the press conference. Like, it's not press conference. I think it's just his media duties away from F1 that he doesn't like.
Right, yeah.
Because he's such a busy man.
Yeah, he is.
It's his media duties.
He's never
away.
liked the media. I've never got the impression.
He's got better in the press conference. The Bahrain one was quite funny when Carlos was late.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Hamilton was just talking around to everyone then at that point. So was Max. So was Lando. It was quite a chilled out, good press conference. I quite enjoyed it.
It was a good press conference. But yeah, I mean,
I do miss it with Seb in press conference.
Seb was the best.
Always so funny.
Seb was the best.
He's so funny. I liked the press conference with Hamilton, Ricciardo, Alonso. And was it Alonso go like, what do you want in F1? Ricciardo goes Vegas, Hamilton's Miami. Alonso equal engines.
Yeah.
Back in his McLaren days.
Oh yeah, GP2 engine.
I loved it.
That was good. Yeah, no. I mean, apart from the Max stuff, which we got heavily sidetracked on.
Oh yeah.
What else happened this week? I don't really know if anything did.
No, I mean, I saw a news bit that the woman who had the allegations against Horner has now taken them to the FIA.
That's also I think that's kind of grouped in with what we were talking about last week. So it's all conjoined, really. Yeah. Well, with that, I think we move on to Australian GP predictions. Australia, mate.
Yeah, but these are all going to change when it comes to the live stream for quali anyway.
Yeah, but we do them now because we do them the week before, don't we?
Well, no, we're doing them now because you can't think of anything else to talk about.
Yeah, well, we're doing them now. Well, we did the Bahrain ones a week before.
Yeah, we did. Australia
Grand Prix.
I'm trying to think. It's quite medium.
It's high speed now.
Well, I'm trying to think. The corners are full. Medium to high speed, aren't they?
A lot of high speed corners. There's only, to be fair, there is quite a few slow speed corners.
There are a few, but it's
a lot less.
Medium to high.
It used to be a downforce dependent track back in the day, but ever since they changed, they took out that chicane, they made what turn is it?
The car's ridiculous.
They made the cars ridiculously grippy, and that corner
down the straight.
Oh my god, I'm
down the straight.
Union down the straight.
It's just
right-hander after the DRS zone. They've made that wider. They've made that other chicane more of like a flat out, if you can take it.
Yeah.
If you're Max Verstappen, flat out, like Jink. Like it's more of a high speed track now more than anything to improve overtaking, which I think it probably has.
I think it has.
I think they were successful within that.
Yeah, interesting thing was at Saudi, Mercedes were the second slowest car in high speed.
Were they?
Yeah. Behind Alpine.
Of course.
No. Alpine were ahead of Mercedes.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, in high speed corners.
Oh, wow.
That's how much... That's their main issue this year, clearly.
Who was behind them? Was it Sauber?
I think it was Sauber. Well, I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me on who was that, but I just know Mercedes was second slowest.
It doesn't surprise me. They were dog.
They were dog in that first sector, so they could struggle in Australia.
Australia is more of a Saudi-like circuit than it used to be. So, in terms of the way, comparing Saudi to Australia, there are a lot of those high-speed jink corners, and you've got to carry as much speed as possible.
And what I'm going to say right now, McLaren are going to be the second fastest team.
Oh, you think so? Okay, then give me a pole position.
Max.
Okay, Max, me too. Give me your top three.
Max. Lando, Charles.
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna go. Max. Perez. Lando. Yeah, that's my top three.
Wait, is that quality?
No, that's race.
Right. Okay, yeah. Max, Lando, Charles race.
Yeah. Okay, give me your best performance. Team or driver?
Ooh.
Best performance.
Best performance.
Yeah. Who's going to perform the best in the Australian Grand Prix? Is it going to be Red Bull? Can't say Red Bull, can you? It's
No,
cop out.
I can't.
Cop out. You say Red Bull every time, really.
It is a
couldn't
cop out. I'm going to say McLaren.
Okay.
Because they're going to be ahead of Mercedes, Ferrari, and Aston Martin. I'm going to say McLaren.
Okay.
But driver, see, it'd be easy to say Lando Norris, but I expect him to be there. I want to go for someone who I don't expect to be. Well, I'm going to go Yuki.
Oh, yeah.
I think Yuki's going to have a firm top 10. 9th,
beat
8th or 9th.
Beat Ricciardo.
Yeah, that is.
It's
Ricciardo's home race, I know.
I'm going to say... I'm also going to say McLaren.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they'll be strong. I've got this feeling they'll be strong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say... You know what? I'm going to go... I think Logan Sargent's going to have a good weekend. Because I think everyone...
define a good weekend for Logan.
No, so...
You know what I mean?
So he's not lived up to what he was supposed to do in the first two races. I really do believe... I think Saudi is a terrifying circuit. Bahrain's the first Grand Prix of the weekend. The season, right?
Saudi is terrifying.
Saudi's terrifying. Kills confidence. By the way, missed practice 3, didn't he? He missed practice 3? He missed one of the sessions.
He did miss practice 3, but that's because he broke
He
his
binned
wheel.
it, yeah. So confidence, as James Vowles was saying in commentary over the weekend, is built up through the sessions.
Yeah, he's just got to find it.
And Saudi's a terrifying circuit. So Australia, more runoff zones, more room for error. I think he'll be able to push the car more, and then he'll gain more confidence in the car, and I think he'll be closer to Albon. And I think overall, we'll be sat here saying, you know what, Logan Sargent, it was about a 4.
I want to give him a 4.
It was about a 4. I reckon he had a good qualifying, closer to Albon. Didn't beat him, but where we want him to be, the progress he needs to make, and I reckon he'll have a decent race. I don't know if he'll score points. If something crazy happens, maybe he might.
I'm giving Yuki a 5. It's coming.
I'm going to say Logan Sargent, anyway. Worst performing driver or team? Who's going to severely under-deliver? And you can't say Alpine because
I'm
now...
not allowed to say Alpine.
They're where we expect now, so...
Kevin Magnussen in the Haas.
You think so? I think he's going to bomb it.
I think he finishes behind Gasly.
Wow. Behind an Alpine.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll.
Oh, well, that's just a cop-out because he just underperforms every weekend.
Yeah.
You just know that's happening. Though.
Okay, then. I'm gonna... The thing is, I can't... you know what? No, I'm gonna go Daniel Ricciardo. Because I think everyone's gonna go,
Yuki's gonna destroy you.
I think Yuki will have a better race, and I think people will expect Daniel to be there because it's his home race.
Yeah.
So
I hope he is, though, for Daniel's sake.
I do. I love Daniel, but I said this before the season began. I reckon Yuki's going to have a better season than Daniel.
Oh, no. I think Daniel's going to come and absolutely dominate in the next few races after Australia.
You think so?
Oh, God, yeah. We're going to see Daniel of old soon again.
What? How?
I just feel like something's going to go boom. And then Daniel's going to be like getting P6 or something.
I don't think his driving style works in that
Daniel's driving
V-carb.
style hasn't worked since the Red Bull.
Yeah, it hasn't. It didn't work in McLaren.
Well, that track day that he did apparently at Silverstone last year, that was on Drive to Survive as well.
Was
a bit more in depth to it. And he was there or thereabouts in Max. He would have got second.
Would he?
In quali.
Would he?
Next to Max in that Red Bull.
How far was he off?
I don't know. It didn't go that far.
So he's quick in the Red Bull.
But it did say he would have been ahead of Checo.
Wow.
So that's why they gave him the seat, because he was on the pace.
That's interesting.
You know, like ahead of Lando, he was on the pace next to Max. So
that's interesting.
You can't argue with why they gave him the seat, because that was his first time in the car in 6 months, and he's just
yeah.
Hello, Max.
Yeah. Something's not clicking in that AlphaTauri though for him.
No, he had a great race at Mexico though, so
he did. Yeah.
Maybe he's just got to get a couple of races, get up to speed, and go. Yeah. I think we'll see it this year.
But yeah, that's our predictions for the Australian Grand Prix. Have you got any more final thoughts on anything we need to discuss? Any news that we should know? I don't think we've got anything else, have we?
It's been a quiet week.
Yeah.
Quiet week, quiet pod.
But anyway, yeah, make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed, and also, we'll be live streaming the Australian Grand Prix. We'll be live Saturday morning and Sunday morning, 4 a.m. 3:30 start.
Oh my god.
Take care.